Hello, everyone, and welcome back to UK University Valorant. I am Rook, joined by Raptros, and we are joined with a special guest for this interview after the previous show match. We have Wretch joining us on stream.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me.
Hi, Wretch. So, how do you feel about coming out on top on that one?
Absolutely ecstatic. Don't know if you guys were aware, but we were supposed to play them last night, but we're running into some technical difficulties, so the stream ended up getting cancelled. We played the game anyway after about a 30-minute delay. We actually lost 13-11, so today, fantastic to get in there and win.
Are there any kind of things you went and improved to pick up those two extra rounds?
Oh, well, absolutely. We're all fucking roided out of our minds going into this.
Fair enough, fair enough. So, I saw obviously. I mean, it's very important for that map, in particular. What kind of tactics you're really bringing out to have mid control there?
It wasn't too many heavy strategies. We haven't really pracked too much as a team, but mid is obviously the central point of this map. It's what you really need to take on the attacking side. So we were trying to work getting picks on B and mid for a lot of the rounds. It was either that or we were doing a straight A. Because from mid, depending on whether we got to pick B or not, we would then go A or might try to push from B window and then do a split mid, mid and B. That was about as far as we went. It worked
Yeah,
out. We won the half, so
a lot of kind of lack of presence toward A, and a lot of players kind of picking up that ultimate arm on A and walling it off, putting a bit of utility down to try and secure that, so you can get those ultimates up and running as quickly
yeah.
as possible. One big question for me is: seen a lot of tier lists, seen a lot of people rating them. You were obviously playing Omen. How do you feel Omen kind of sits in there?
I would say Omen is probably one of the weakest characters in the game, but it's really just the character I played the most, the one I'm most comfortable on by far. Um, I think it works with our team composition. Having two characters with smokes, Omen and Brimstone works quite well. And yeah, it's really just a confidence thing for me. I just feel so much more comfortable playing him than any other character. I know he's not the best, but it works.
Fair enough. If you had to choose someone else to play, maybe looking forward, who do you think's that kind of other than things like the Sage and kind of things that we know are particularly strong? Are there any characters which you think are particularly sleeper? Sorry.
Well, the one character I am trying to unlock at the moment is Breach, but I don't really want to spend money on the game. So I'm on the fifth tier of the Breach contract. So when I get him, we'll be giving him a go. I think that'll work well with our team comp. Beyond that, the only other characters I haven't tried are Cypher and Viper. Cypher's really strong, but obviously we've got Spooky playing him, so it wouldn't make sense with our team comp. And Viper, again, I think is one of the weakest characters in the game.
Do you have any questions for Aptros?
Yeah, well, obviously you were one of the players that was really fragging out for your team, and we
Thank
actually
you.
saw, like we said previously, a very close game on a map which is usually regarded to be very defender sided. Is that what you found into this game? Because both halves actually seem very close. So even if that was true, it seemed like a lot of the teams were, or well, both teams were finding a quite a bit of success on the offensive. But split as a map, how does it sit with you?
Yeah, you're right. I would say it's a very CT or defense sided map, but yeah, we start out on attack. We had a 7-5 half. At that point, I was thinking, fantastic, this is going to be easy for us now. But then for it to go so close, 13-12, yeah, we were struggling with mid a bit. A few of our calls were off. Like we made a few poor rotations here and there. We clearly need to have it. That's the first time we played that map as a team. So we clearly have a few things we need to work on. Uh, but yeah, ordinarily it would be very defense-sided, but yeah, this game, I suppose it wasn't. Just yeah, we had a really good attack half, and so did Exeter. So yeah,
All right. Are your team taking part in the big tournament that's starting up soon? The
we will
UK
be
Uni Valorant
absolutely.
tournament.
We will be there.
Absolutely. It'll be really fun to try and catch you there then. If you at home aren't aware, it is a tournament. The sign-ups, I believe, end on the 30th of this month. First place gets £75. Second place gets 25. You've got to be from the same uni and you'll have to be at university. But you can come and join on into. It'll be a right laugh. I don't believe, sorry, there isn't any entrance fee. So you could just come, not looking to win, have a good time with a couple of your mates. So definitely try and jump in on that. Is there anywhere anyone can catch you? Anything you want to plug, Rich?
Oh, I wasn't expecting that. No, not in particular. No.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much for joining us. We should be having our game coming up soon. It is one of those 10-man pods, and we are, I believe, going to Haven.
It definitely looks like that's the case. The players are looking like they are ready at the moment. So we'll be heading into our second game in the not too distant future. But, we go from slightly structured Valorant into more of a 10-man setting now, Rook. So does that change the complexion of what we'll get to see? Or is it going to be very similar to the game we've already seen? Because I hope it's the latter, because if the games are as close as that, then I'm going to have a whale of a time.
I mean, as Retro's really saying, a lot of teams very new to this game haven't quite got the strats down in the same way you'd really expect from some older games that obviously people have been playing for many years. So I think we'll see a relatively similar in terms of how puggy it is, whether we'll have the same level of fragging. Obviously, different players, different different strokes, different looks. It really depends on who we've got coming on up in here. There are a couple of players who really jump to mind here, players like Zeta and Aminus, who I haven't seen in these games before, but it's really all up for grabs.
Yep, it is. So we're about a minute and a half away from going into the game, and we'll actually be playing on Haven. So you're absolutely correct there. That 3 bomb site map. And I remember coming into this closed beta, I think it was Volcano, in fact, that said that every map in Valorant he wants to be unique in some way. And, what better way than to have 3 bomb sites? Although some players, this is kind of bottom of their tier lists of the 3 maps at the moment. But for me personally, it takes some adjustment to getting used to, especially if you're coming from a game like Counter-Strike, for example. But I don't think it's really as bad of a map as some people are saying that it is.
I'm actually a really big fan of this map. I think B-site is really interesting because while it is really easy to get onto, and it is a bit of a trap site. If you go plant there, I have very rarely seen teams actually not get re-executed on, get kicked off, and get it diffused. Because while you can smoke off very easily, use your utility easily to kind of cut off the entrances so you can get that plant down, same thing can happen back to you. As soon as you're on that site, you're very isolated, and it provides a really nice focus point for the map because you use that as an opportunity to push onto A or push onto C as you cut off the team from the rest of the map, and they have to go through that long rotate through CT spawn.
Okay, so we have, I'm going to call them by the first names on each team. So Team Zeta on the defensive side to start this one, and Team Kexi will be on the offensive side. We'll be referring to them to Zeta or Kexi. At least I will. I'm not sure if you're in agreement with me, Rook, but that's what I'm going to do just to give this broadcast just a little bit of structure. But I'm pretty excited to get into things. You can see the agent picks coming through, and no raise I can actually see in effect. So some players deciding that maybe she's been lifted a little bit too much and she isn't as favored as a pick as she was previously. But we actually see 2 jets that we actually didn't see in that previous game.
Indeed, and this makes a lot more sense for these puggy matches. Doesn't bring too much in the way of coordination with the rest of the team. Very short smoke, so you should be a little bit more at home. Using that information adequately, finding Aminus going through smoke, Incipien's backs them on up. Fantastic play from Jack of all trades, though, as he pops on through the smoke, takes down 2, and now it is even Stevens. They have the spike right on down the attackers, taking an early control on this one.
Jack of all trades being put down, so he can't continue to add to his frag tally as this retail looks to try to come in. As the Phoenix trying to head their way through short, but it's completely domed there. Domed there by the Sova. Incipien's on the jet. Can't find any further progress towards that site. So the 3K for Potato there. On the Sova, able to net Kexi's team their first round on the offensive here. So 3 frags to his name, Jack of all trades with the 2K, and that's a positive start here for the team of Kexi. So early stages in this one, so you can't read into many things just yet, but that pistol round is certainly very helpful.
And we've given a bit of a caster's curse. Both of the team names kind of players have already 0-1 right at the bottom here. But yeah, going to be a couple of Spectres coming out here, and also a Phantom picked up for the Sova on, I believe, Kexi's team. Taha going to move on up through short here. No one's really waiting at the end of this. There's only one player on this A site, and it is that Jet all the way on up in heaven. Just looking for that bit. Incipiens still keeping their distance. With the Ghost, you can actually play relatively long ranges, but it can struggle a little bit. There we see the Owl drone coming out almost instantaneously from Clover. Looking for that information. A rotate is already here to back on up. A couple of smokes come on in. Taha will take down Incipiens. This is a big opportunity as a spray comes on through. Zeta will fall as well. And now, with A site control, this is exactly where you want to be. Snake falls. Xeno tries to find a couple of the shots through the smoke. Taste the Void is going to try and rotate. But Kexi is already in position, gets the frag, finds another, and now, finally, taking the lead.
Yeah, brilliant stuff there. So it was up against the Pistols on the defense there, so it's a round that Kexi's team should have won, and they have. So important to get that 2-0 early on, and look to try and find some success into this gun round. So it looks like they'll be able to, they're just keeping the SMGs into this one on that offensive side. So the SMGs up against the rifles. You have to favor the rifles on Zeta's team at the moment. So Kexi's side taking this is a little bit of a bonus round here, just to make sure their economy is in a pretty good state. Taste of the Void trying to flash himself through those doors, but gets a little bit confused with the weapon switching there, and there's an upgrade for one of those offensive players as well. So they're already finding some success in this round. They've upgraded one of their SMGs to a Vandal. They found some foothold towards the C bomb site as well. So this is looking absolutely great for Kexi's team, as 4 versus 5 retake now that the defensive have to manage to find their first round.
Xeno trying to move into position. Catches Taha as he tries to move on in, but Kexi will put a stop to any shenanigans from Xeno here. Incipiens and the gang trying to push on through this barrier roll, but with the Molotov going down as well, they're just going to back on off. Against 4 players, with all this utility in the way, there's not really much point in it. You want to just go for this.
Yeah, because you're basically fully invested into this if you're Zeta's team on the defensive, so those rifles are going to be pretty valuable coming into the next round, because you can't really justify buying up, forcing up once again. So just keep the weaponry in your hands, look to try and find some success in the next round, but they didn't really pull up a great fight in that round. Just the one player falling on Kexi's team, which will mean that their economy on the offensive already starting to run away. You can see multiple players with over 7,000 creds here, which is absolutely amazing for them. Remember in the second round, I believe it was, where they actually survived with all 5 players left alive. So they've allowed that to build up, and it's the exact same as it is in CS. If you have the economy in your favor, it's just one less thing to worry about.
It certainly does. Even if they lose a couple of rounds here, they'll still be able to buy up and put themselves in such a comfortable position. Again, it's looking like another A push. This time, Kexi is the one to push up short with a Guardian. Not normally the way around we see things, but the smokes looking to come in from this Brimstone. The Buggy waiting there to avoid. Misses the first shot, will find the second. Now able to pick up a rifle. However, it's a bit of a distraction as the rest of the team is pushing onto this A side. However, some good shots from Zeta and the crew. Will find the frags. Will push that aggression back. It doesn't find the frag. It is Amonis who falls instead, and Potato Warlord is all alone here on long.
That was a little bit of an awkward exchange, to say the least. The spray not quite connecting for... Well, the shot's not quite connecting for either of those 2 players. Although they are trying to wait this one out and actually punishes the push through from Snake. It's still 3 players left to find for him, but he does have the spike in his position as he works his way towards the A bomb site. But he is very low HP, so he's very susceptible to body shots, very susceptible to the spams through. But Zeta has his number, and that will be Zeta's team first round onto the board. And considering they didn't have a lot of creds coming into that one, that's a brilliant one to pick up.
Indeed, it is really, really good for them. They've managed to reset the economy a little bit. They're all going to be able to pick up rifles, even if for Snake it's only that Bulldog. They will be going up against rifles again, but that also bodes well, because that was a really strong A-hold. It was a little bit messy, I'm not going to lie. Zeta and Amonis having a little bit of a moment together, but it at least brings you some confidence that you can hold that. And we've actually seen a lot of teams tend towards going for those A pushes, because they are very simple and very easy and puggy to run off.
You can see there's no A presence for the offensive this time. So instead, focusing on that mid-courtyard area. In fact, the Phoenix is pushed up close already and just takes out Zeta. Snake attempting to go for the trade, but it just results in another frag for the offensive Phoenix. So you just have to say B-bomb site open for business. The plant can come through, and that offensive side, maybe that last round was just a bit of a blip as they try to get their four in this one. The spray not quite there from Taste the Void against the opposite Phoenix. And now it's just the Cypher. Xeno left up against 4, and he's probably best served to save that Phantom into the next round. Maybe even find an exit frag or 2 here would be beneficial, but again, it's sometimes these aim duels not quite working out. Ooh, there's a big opportunity there for Xeno to be able to find the double, but just the one. But it's the round lost still, and Kexi, Team Kexi are able to bring the scoreline to 4-1. But yeah, a lot of these aim duels just aren't going the way of Zeta's team at the moment, and Taste the Void, he's been particularly struggling on that Phoenix. 1-4 at the moment. He's had a few awkward exchanges as well, but hopefully for him, he can find his footing.
Definitely can. Picking up a favorite of mine. I've actually been really enjoying the shotguns in this game. They feel really good when they work and terrible when they don't, which is the very simple way of putting it. They're a little bit inconsistent at medium ranges, especially if you're going for that right click on the Bucky, but can work wonders here. Taste the Void looking to try and replicate said wonders, looking to not miss the first shot this time, as it will be Phoenix on Phoenix action yet again.
Yeah, these two have had a bit of a duel, just trying to tease with each other behind the doors. But there's been a pick towards mid there, there we go. Taste the Void finds the frag onto Jack of all trades. A little bit of payback from that previous round, but elsewhere the B plant can come in from Team Kexi. And now what does Zeta do about this? They're sort of all clumped up towards that C side at the moment. They're being denied entry towards B by the Brimstone smoke. At the moment, there's the engagement towards mid as Potato's able to win that one out, as the defenders now have to, well, go in as 3. Incipient trying to get the angle on top of the boxes in the middle of the site and tags down Kexi. Can he do more from this position? No, as far as Amanus is concerned.
Yeah, the lack of firepower really hurting them here. Zeta still looking to make something happen here, but with Potato Warlord at the end of this avenue, there is not much chance for escape here.
I will not
Can't get the shots, couldn't get the defuse. Potato Warlord closes out yet another round for this team. Oh no! Nearly gives it there and goes down.
That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. As that's money going to waste. So you can't be affording to do that too often. Although on the attacking side, your economy is pretty healthy at the moment, so at least it's not too big of a loss for them. But still, you can't be throwing away weaponry like that. As you know, some players still have to learn the bomb explosion radius in the game, it seems.
I think he just thought that he would be able to slip through that gap, doesn't quite get it. Unfortunately for Zeta gets the instead. Nice play there from Biosipians. Will take down Kexi, however, Taha is right there to reflag. Snake waiting in the back of the site, tries to get the frag, but again, Taha strikes back. And as a result, they have a control of this A site, and this push seems to be a mainstay for them.
Yep, it is. Trying to find their 6th run, unless Taste the Void has anything to say about it, but that slow orb into the window is going to cause him a problem. He can silently creep up as long as he holds shift, but Taste the Warlord is all over it as he finds another frag at the end onto Xeno, as Kexi's team has just, sort of run away with things on this offensive at the moment. Potato on that Sova, putting in a decent amount of work. Taha on the Brimstone has also shown what he's made of so far this game, as Zeta's team can't really find the momentum at the moment. They're just being denied at the last moment in some of these rounds, especially that one 2 rounds ago where they almost got the defuse in, but the post-plant kill was there from the offensive. Just the 1 round on the defense so far, and that's not really what you want to be seeing.
Dude, it isn't. Amanus looking to try and hold defensively here, so that they can't push up aggressively in mid. With a peek now, but no one's really going to be there. A lot of these offensive players using their patience wisely. Zeta waiting in the wings. I mean, it's interesting that we're seeing as well the Phoenix Taste the Void, a Kha'Zix player, trying to get the drop on someone. Really looking for the assassin here. Looking for the play, but this time Jack of all trades has actually bought friends. Taha will take him on down. The shotgun not going to be able to work its magic this time. But good shot from Taha, takes down Snake, and Seasight is already secured. The Cypher back to back with that Brimstone. Zeno finally gets caught out. Taha picks up their third of the round. Oh, around a little bit, finds a fourth. Incipients will go down, and Zeta is the last winning player. This is a real opportunity for an ace, but Kexi denies it.
I'm not sure what that engagement was about, as Jet was jumping around like she tends to do, trying to surprise the opponent, but then the Brimstone was just like, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just going to jump around like you, I'm going to do my best Jet impression, and it just resulted in a really awkward fight there. Not sure what that one is about, but the Brazil is in full effect here as Team Kexi are able to get the 7-1 scoreline, as there's seemingly no stopping them here in this game. No one from Zeta's team positive in terms of the kill-death ratio here, so it's been a massive struggle for them, and you can see that from some of the firefights that they've been attempting to take.
Here they have Snake holding a close angle, but this time no player here with a shotgun. It's the Vandal, as the rifles finally have been brought up again for Kexi. Sorry, for Spray there from Snake. Almost finds a second. Finds a bit of damage. Jack of all trades looking to continue to play, but again, Spray from the defensive side will shut this down. The two star players are still alive for this offense. Taha will go down, and it's 1 versus 3. But if anyone could do it, it's certainly Potato Warlord. Going to use the Owl Drone to get that information and make these big plays by themselves, even though they are playing a more supportive character.
Yeah. Silva, can he work a bit of magic
Revealing
here?
area.
Like you said, he's been pretty nifty in this game so far. Tries to take the fight with the awkward angle on top of the boxes. Waits for that flank as well. That's not going to come in just yet. It's all about the timing here on this one. 40 seconds left remaining. Does he decide to back out and just save that weaponry? That might be the option that he's going for here. 30 seconds left. That Sage is starting to work in from CT here. So he might get some presence in just a couple of seconds, but looks like that Sage not quite going to push any further just yet. Instead, they're heading towards Heaven. So it won't be the attempted clutch here for Potato. Just keeping hold of that weapon. It's just a matter of whether that Sage will get the drop from Heaven. Potato just about able to creep around, and now the Sage drops off, and man, Potato able to stay alive there, crucially. As I'm sure that Zeta will be able to get the drop, and Potato, again, another exit frag. So really using that save Vandal to his advantage, but I thought for sure he was dead there.
I mean, he is caught Potato, but it's definitely not about his aim, as he has been absolutely on point. Caught back up with Taha in this match as well. So those two 14 fraggers really leading the charge for Team Kexi.
Yeah, they've put in a lot of hard work. 14-4 for both of them there. So incredibly potent players on that side that
Get out of my way.
been able to find some success here, although Zeta trying to answer back. There's that early drone, and actually the bolt does land on Zeta, so just have to back away. Here comes this C push though from the offensive side. They're heading their way through Garage, and Zeta's just been completely enough to caught out there. Maybe some miscommunication. There must have been a call that there was a push coming through that Garage side, but Zeta wasn't able to do anything about it. Wasn't able to get the gun out in time. Caught with abilities out, and that is always going to spell your doom here in those sorts of situations. It's very similar to being caught with grenades out in CSGO. It's never ideal.
No, you definitely don't want to bring an orb to a gunfight. You see the Cloudburst coming on through. Just tries to find the spray down, but Taha will make up for their mistake and almost find another one to Zeno. But 1 versus 2 with so little time remaining. Very small angle here. They know exactly where he is. Jack of all trades will, however, go down. Zeno versus that final player. However, we know he's playing for time. Potato Warlord does exactly what he needs to do, and the spike will go off.
Yeah, spike planted for him there, so it's pretty difficult for the retake to come in there, because you can just play off of that defuse there. But you know, it's another round going the way of Kexi here. You see they had that around 2 rounds ago where they did drop the ball a little bit, but returning back to winning form. You can see a lot of players over 10k in the bank account here, so they're going to be pretty safe until the very end of this half. So there's going to be no economy worries for Kexy's team in this one, but they will readjust now. Instead of a push towards the C site and the B site that they've been favoring for the last couple of rounds, it's a return to form as far as the early rounds go. They really favored this A bomb site early on, and they returned to it. They've got some presence in towards short. They've got some presence towards long as well. The bomb site comes through. They are able to find recipients. It's a pistol round for the defense that is able to find 1 frag, and Snake able to try to tap away from basically what is the defensive CT quote-unquote position there. But again, the pistols can only do so much.
If they can't. Snake. Taste the Void looking to punish the push up, but Taha will find the shot much better than he will. Guardian down to the end, trying to find those shots, but unfortunately the Ghost doesn't do the required work, and 9-2, it's looking like a little bit of a whitewash here.
Yeah, that's the long and short of it at the moment. Taha, 18 frags to his name. Really just taking the game by the horns and simply not letting go. Into the final round of the half, though. Maybe if the defensive side can grab this final round, maybe they can feel a lot more optimistic into that second half. But with the way things are going, even that probably won't turn the tides.
Joke's over!
Kexy's
You're
team
dead!
look to finish off in quite convincing fashion this first half. Running back is out though for Taste the Void, but the operator shot is there.
Joke's over! You're dead!
And Taste the Void retreats back into the garage. Jack of all trades looking to make a similar play. This time with a little bit more success. Finds a little bit of damage, but all too much onto that Sage. Will go down as they try and make the repeat. Will have the rest of their team to really back them on up. Kexy finds the spray, takes down Snake, and now it's 2 versus 2. And it literally due to this in terms of operators here. But the res from Amonis on the side picks up Potato Warlord. That has put them in such a good position now because it's 3 versus 2 with your big main fragger and the spike planted.
Yeah, here we go. The engagement's already happening. Insidious trying to break his way in and take down Potato, so he only lived for a short amount of time after that res. Zeta with a frag on towards Kexy. There's the res, though, for the defensive side. It's not going to matter, though, because Incipkins has found the frag directly afterwards, as the defensive side are able to get that defuse in to finish off this first half. So at least they've got that going for them, but it's still a very long way back from here for Team Zeta. They need the lion's share of the rounds here, at least in the opening portion of the second half, to even have a chance. But at least he got that positive sign coming into this.
Indeed he did. It's good to pick up a couple there, but yeah. How do you feel about how do you feel about this map? Do you think it's particularly defensive sided again? Because I've heard a lot of talk about pretty much all the maps in this game being at least a little bit defensive sided.
I think this one's kind of the least defensive sided of the 3. Considering on the defense side you're spread a little thin, but though to counter that you do have pretty quick rotations between the sides. So I think at the moment it's too early to say with conviction which side is favored on this map, but for me, I think the attackers probably would have a little bit of a better time here.
The attackers just pouring onto that A site, and there's only one player there, and that's Taha. He is way too far back. The smokes coming in from Taha. Flash is gonna force him out of position, but he is still waiting here. Doesn't find the shots. Taste the Void who starts things off. Kexy will refrag, gets Xeno down, but with the slow orb, it's only Kexy for this period of time on this A site, looking to try and deny the plant here, but they're too far back. Jack of Trades will move on in here. It's gonna be Potato Warlord finding the fragment to Recipients. Amonis allows to push on in 2, and now with these players, it is 2 versus 2. Make that 1 versus 2. Zeta gotta deny the plant. Recon Bolt telling them exactly where they are. That ain't gonna work out.
Yeah, the clutch recon bolt there to seal the deal for the defensive side. There we go. There's the defuse. They're up to 10. Double digits now for that defense, and Team Kexy really finding their strides. They found their stride a little bit earlier on, let's be honest, but that pistol round on this in this particular half is just going to mean that they're just that little bit closer to being able to take this match win. But so it's the comeback that's required for Team Zeta at the moment. The captain, as we're calling him, top of the scoreboard for his team, but it's going to be a struggle from this point forwards.
Indeed. I mean, top of the scoreboard for their team, but it's not particularly high scores. Jack of all trades finding a big 2K, considering they were coming around with those shotguns there. Potato will shut that one down with a 2K. Kexi will finish it on off. Round 14 gone in a flash, as we are now 11 to...
They can't have been more than 15 seconds in that round. That was over very quickly indeed. So you could say that Zeta's team wanting to get that eco over and down the Wizards, go for a straight up rush, try and see what you can find, but it was quickly mowed down by the players on Team Kexi. But this is going to be the crucial round now, because if Zeta's team lose this, then they can pretty much call the game bye-bye, because on match point they won't have the greatest of buys to work with. So they need to find some success now, or they're gonna really have low percentage chance of making this happen.
Yeah, they did. I'm still holding towards mid, but no real extension from the attacking side yet. They're unsure of where they need to go. And Potato Warlord is looking to get a bit of information for their team. The recon bolt will come in. I don't know if it's hit this Cypher or not. I don't believe it has. And as a result, this means they're able to hide their information, but I think that he would have seen that. They are aware of the utility that Xeno just expended there. And at least some presence towards here. Jack of all trades uses as an opportunity to push on out, but Incipiens will easily take that one down as the rest of the team rotates. Maybe looking for a B push here.
Judging by the positioning, looks like that's the option they'll explore. Again, needing to find this round. They've gotten the early advantage, yes. They've got the numbers advantage in their favor. There's the smoke down towards the mid position, just outside of B, mid courtyard, and now looks like it's a bit of a fake though, and looks like they've sold it, because the vast majority of players on that defensive side are stacked up towards B. Meanwhile, the spike is going to C, and Xeno might be able to cut off a couple of the rotations here coming through due to him being able to get garage control, so he could be pivotal in this round. Kexi will try to find him, trying to swing around, but Xeno has him, finds the second as well. So this is looking really good for the offensive side. Taha able to bring things at least slightly in his favor, but there's still two more players left to find in this 1v2 clutch. Looking to try to get his way through C short with that rifle, trying to find some leverage, but it's tough to win this one out. And there's the kill from Incipient. So, well, there's a last gasp for the offensive team, but it's going to have to be more rounds exactly like that, and so many on the bounce as well.
Indeed, and it can't be understated how important that round is for the economy. They would not have been able to buy if they'd lost that. They would have been stuck on the very last round with nothing to do. Almost certain would have lost. And because they managed to win this one, their last round before that potential match point, they've really set themselves up to make at least a little bit of a comeback here. It's definitely going to take something special, I completely agree, but this has at least made it possible.
Ooh, the early frag. My word, Animus just, well, telling Taste the Void to just sit out the round, because you're not coming back unless your Sova has the ult up, but the Sova doesn't, so that's not going to happen. But still, that's a big pick to be given away, and it's one you can't afford to give away if you're the offensive side now, because you just have those 4 players left remaining in this one. Jack of all trades trying to get the spam through, but he just gets replied on, down to 38 HP as well. He can use his abilities to try and heal up a little bit of that HP, but that's a lot of damage through the door.
Some good spraying with awesome on back. Defenders are up a player.
Going up.
Jack of all trades going to use that wall now, give himself some of that healing, while also providing a little bit of utility. It's not super relevant, as it isn't really in the right position.
Prepare for hell!
Starting to come on in here with that ultimate and well from Brimstone, trying to force these players out of the position and using that to just sneak on in. Xeno opens up with a frag on Twaminus right towards the back of site, all ready for that Brimstone with the spike. Jack of all trades spots him on knows exactly where he is, but doesn't find the shot. It's Potato with that Cola. They're going to try and spray through the back here. They take down the player with the spike. 2 versus 1. Xeno needs to frag out here. Put a bit of information down. We'll try to get those last positions. Takes down Kexi. Knows where the last one is. Gonna go for that spray and doesn't get it. Taha will take their team to match point.
There we go. That's it. At least as far as Taha is concerned. But Xeno, that was so close to being able to make that clutch happen. He had all the abilities to use. He knew exactly the location of the last player, but unfortunately for him, wasn't able to win out the aim duel when it came down to it. But there's still at least a chance they'll be able to do this. Yeah, a small one, yes, but you know, we've seen miraculous comebacks before, so there's no reason why it can't happen again here. But yeah, that was so close to being able to make that happen for Zeta's team and to continue on this comeback. But now their life just goes from bad to worse, and they're staring down the barrel of this game getting away from them.
They spot Jet in garage window.
Joke's over.
Using
You're
an
dead.
opportunity to move on up. One back popped by Jack of all trades, but he is popped well before he gets into position to deal with that. Xeno, however, one to pick on Jack of all trades. He's looking to get aggressive here with this Bucky. Finds a body shot, but doesn't quite finish it off. Snake will be the one to confirm that one up. Aminus going to be dropping that slow orb. Doesn't want to let them push on in. It's 3 versus 5, but it's definitely possible with the players on this roster. Potato Warlord holding angle.
It really is. The Sage Wall is not going to be ideal, but it dissipates at just the right time for Potato. The wrong time for Taste of the Void as he continues to try and frag out and find so much success with the sniper. Pulls out the pistol with the 4K as well. That's the game for the defenders. 13-4 going the way of Team Kexi. What a way to close it out.
It certainly was. Potato Warlord. What a performance from this player. 28 frags and 8 deaths. 151 econ rating. This man was absolutely on it like a cart bonnet. Even playing that more supportive agent in Sova, was able to pump up the numbers and just really take control of this game with their own 2 hands.
Yeah, brilliant performance from Potato Warlord. 23 and 8, racking them up here. The econ rating pretty nifty as well, 151. Yeah, that's a brilliant performance there. Taha as well. He got a great amount of very, very pivotal kills there to bring him up to 22. Xeno, of course, was the star, if you ask me, on the other side of Team Zeta, but it seems like the rest of his team probably, well, really able to step up to the plate.
It was really solid play across the board, but yep. Team Kexi able to pick that one up. We are going to go to a break before we have that third and final of the game of the day. We hope you'll join that for us. I've been Rick, and with me has been Raptros, and we'll see you in just a second.